Yeah, hi there, and these comments, I'm going to just use your initials BP, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-Step System to Pass the TOEFL IBT, and you and I have been having an ongoing conversation about how you can improve your TOEFL score, right? And I think I have all the information I need now, so if I remember correctly, in the email I sent to you, you said you had a score of 60, and then I asked you what score you needed, and then you were pretty specific here. You said my target is more than 90, and you need to get 24 in all sections of the test. That's what you're looking for. And in your previous TOEFL exam, you have 5 points on the reading, 18 points in the listening, you have 18 points in the speaking section and 19 points in the writing. Wow, so you have quite a ways to go here, but you can do this. So I hope you're patient here. It's going to take me a few minutes, I think, to recommend a plan that's going to help you. So first of all, your reading is absolutely terrible. This is not good, but there are many things that you can do to improve your reading. Now let me just go over 5 basic things to get started in the video, and you need to write these things down. This is important. So in order to improve your reading, you need to do 5 things. Number 1, you should be reading every day for about 45 minutes. Number 2, you need to study vocabulary. Absolutely, you need to start writing them down, writing sample sentences, downloading audio files if you have them, listening to the audio files. There's just a lot of things you need to do with vocabulary. Start doing it today. 3, you need to improve your reading speed to at least 300 words per minute with 60 to 80% comprehension. Number 4, you have to become familiar with the IBT reading question types and the strategies for answering those questions. And 5, you should take TOEFL level reading practice tests to mark your progress. You got that? Of course, you can listen to the video again if you need to. As I get into your study plan, I want you to keep in mind a few things. First of all, here's one motto, I think, by which you should be living your life right now. Do not put off tomorrow what you can do today. Now, I've already given you some suggestions on reading every day. You don't want to say, well, I'll do that tomorrow. No, that's not good. Do it today. Now, the second piece of advice I want to give you, so you can understand a little bit more about my philosophies, preparing for the TOEFL is a marathon, not a sprint. Think about that for a minute. It means that your preparation, it doesn't occur just in a few weeks. In your case, if you want to go from 60 to 90, a total of 30 points, you have to accept the fact that it's going to take you anywhere from 4 to 8 months to reach this goal. If you're okay with that, then you're ready to do your study. Right? So again, the preparation for the TOEFL is a marathon, not a sprint. So I think you're probably looking at a minimum of 4 months, possibly as many as 8 months. Just depends on how methodical you are, how much you practice on a day-to-day basis. It depends on what kind of exposure you're already getting to the language, and so on and on and on and on, right? Okay, now let's get into my recommendations. As I said before, you should be reading every day for 45 minutes. Now, in addition to that, you should also be practicing listening every day for about 45 minutes. Now, in the case of the reading, I recommend magazines, newspapers, and books. Listening materials, try to use English TV if you can. News, science, history, and documentary programs, that's a good start. Now, if you do not have English TV, here are my recommendations. The first one is Randall Cyber Listening Lab. This is a good start. Go through the medium and the difficult listening practice exercises at this website. Now the next one, National Public Radio. This is also a good website for you to practice. And the last one is TED Talks. So these are 3 websites you can go to. You need to be practicing your listening every day. Day by day. Remember in the beginning, do not put off tomorrow what you can do today. Remember that quote. Now 3. Note-taking is very, very important for the TOEFL because you have to get down in note form the main and the most important supporting points of the reading and the listening passages. Then using your notes, you have to answer questions during the reading and the listening sections of the test. You also have to use your notes to speak and write about those passages. So you should take notes even now as you practice your reading and your listening. So get down in note form the main and the most important supporting points, I think, of the reading and the listening passages. Now, using your notes, I want you to write 3 250-word summaries each week. The summaries are based on the reading and the listening passages that you're practicing. Remember, too, you're trying to put the passages in your own words, using your own grammar and your own vocabulary. Now, the 5th suggestion is to give maybe 3 60-second oral summaries. This is also important. And when you do your oral summaries, basically you're re-explaining a reading or listening passages, again, using your own grammar and your own vocabulary, right? You're trying to re-explain that information, and I recommend that you record your oral summaries, and you can listen to them again. You can pay attention to your language use, delivery, and topic development. This is what you do to start. These are the first 5 things. The first 5 things that are going to get you toward building your academic English language proficiency. You see what we're saying? So you want to spend about 60% of your time doing this. Now, 40% of your time, I recommend that you start going through the lessons in my online TOEFL course. And let's get to point 6. So my recommendation for you, I'm not going to recommend a 30, 60, or 90-day TOEFL study guide. You're beyond that. Like I said, you're probably looking at anywhere from 4 to 8 months of study. If you're spending 3 or 4 hours every day for 4 or 5 months, I think you have a very good chance of reaching your goal. It's not going to be easy. It's going to require a lot of effort. You have to solve a lot of language issues, right? Okay, first of all, go through the vocabulary, pronunciation, and the grammar sections of my course. Go through those parts of my course first. And to avoid burnout, BP, I recommend you don't just study vocabulary, but study vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar on a day-to-day basis to give you some variety. It's probably better for your brain. And remember also, you're doing some reading and listening practice generally, which is also good. Okay. So first, maybe on day 1, you can take vocabulary lesson 1, pronunciation lesson 1, and grammar lesson 1. So each day you can take a lesson from each of these sections, and then it would probably take you about maybe 2, maybe 3 months, I think, to finish these 3 parts of my course. Now, once you've done that, then you can complete the listening and the reading sections of my course. Remember, you're already doing the listening and reading practice in a separate kind of a study routine from my website. So 3 or 4 months from now, when you finally get to the listening and reading sections of my course, you should be ready to start taking listening and reading practice tests to begin monitoring your comprehension and so on, right? So the next thing is to do the listening and reading sections. This will probably take you another 1 or 2 months. And then the 8th thing is to complete the writing and the speaking sections of my course. And the final thing that you can do is maybe every 2 or 3 months you can complete a full-length IBT practice test to monitor your progress. If you take a practice test, 3 things are going to happen, all of which are positive for you. Number 1, you can mark your progress. You can actually see where you are. Your goal is 90, right? So how close are you to your goal when you take the practice test? Remember that during the practice test, I have another company that I contract this service out to, but they will score all 6 of your speaking tasks. They will score both of your writing tasks. You get subtotal scores in the reading, listening, speaking, and writing. You get an overall score, then you can see how close are you to 90. That's the first benefit. Number 2 is you develop, believe it or not, you develop the strength and stamina needed to complete a 5.5-hour test. The full-length practice tests that I offer you, they do take almost 6 hours to complete. They're very similar to the length and the difficulty of the actual TOEFL exam, so that's going to be important too. The third benefit of taking a full-length IBT practice test is you become more familiar with the structure and the format of the TOEFL exam. See what I'm saying? So these are all benefits to you. And that's it. So this is my 9-step plan for you. Remember, 60% of your time you're doing the first 5 suggestions in this video, and then 40% of your time each day you're doing steps 6, 7, and 8, and then maybe every 2 or 3 months you can take an IBT full-length practice test to mark your progress. So, like I said before, TOEFL preparation is a marathon, not a sprint. So 4 to 6 months of preparation, 4 to 8 months of preparation, it's what you need right now, I think, to reach your goal. Remember, don't put the cart in front of the horse. What am I saying? A lot of students in your situation, they try to prepare for the TOEFL by only studying and taking TOEFL practice tests. That's a bad idea. You need to build your academic English language proficiency first. Once you have the English, then you can prepare and start taking a lot of practice tests. You're not there yet. That's why your score here is 60. That's why you have 5 points in the reading section. Right? So to get you up to 24 in all 4 of these sections is going to take some time. Now the question is, BP, are you ready? Are you ready to do these things? Are you serious? If you're serious and you're ready to begin your studies, please consider joining my online TOEFL course. If you go to onlinetoeflcourse.com, you can learn more about it, and then you can click on the Join tab and actually join my course and become one of my students. All right? Anyway, thank you for your questions and your email, and all the best to your high-scoring TOEFL success.